Was a mother who had two daughters, and her husband died, but left her a long leather bag filled with silver coins. And the mother thought that that would be enough to take care of herself and her two daughters. But one day, an old woman came along, begging for food. She was bent and had long, scraggly hair. Well, the mother didn't like the looks of her, but thought it would be bad luck to turn her away. So she invited her in and made tea and gave her bread. But the next morning, the mother looked for her bag of silver coins. It was gone. The old woman must have taken it, and now the old woman was far, far away. Well, from that day on, it became very hard for the mother and her two daughters. When a hole appeared in the thatch of the roof, they didn't have the coins to fix it. When the potato crop went bad, the three of them went hungry. But then one day, the oldest daughter, Maureen, said, "Mother, I'm old enough to find my fortune. Make me a bannock cake." Now, a bannock cake was a round cake, flat, about as thick as a biscuit. And the mother asked her daughter, did she want half of the bannock cake with her blessing, or the whole bannock cake without the blessing? "Well, mother, I'd be glad for the whole bannock cake without your blessing. And if I'm gone for a year and a day, you'll know that I've made my fortune." So off Maureen went. And whenever she came to a farmhouse, she'd knock on the door and ask for work. But she always got the same answer. "Alas, we've got more hands here than we have food to feed them. You better go someplace else." Finally, Maureen came to a wee hut that was old and neglected. She knocked at the door and was answered by an old woman who was bent and had white, scraggly hair. "I've come looking for work." "Well, there's work here for you. Each morning, I want you to wash the clothes, make the meals, sweep the hearth, but don't you ever look up the chimney or you'll have bad luck." Well, Maureen went to work for the old woman. And when she got up in the morning, she made the breakfast and she cleaned up the dishes. And then she swept the hearth. And while the old woman was off and about, she made the soup for lunch. But one day, she thought it wouldn't hurt just to look up the chimney. Well, she looked up the chimney, and there was the long leather bag filled with silver coins. And she took it down the chimney, out the hut she went, and started running down the road. And she came to a horse, and the horse called out, "Run me, run me. Hasn't it been 7 years since I've been rubbed?" "Out of my way, you silly horse." And down the road Maureen ran. She came to a sheep, and the sheep called out, "Shear me, shear me. Hasn't it been 7 years since I've been sheared?" "Out of my way, you silly sheep." On and on she ran till she came to a mill. And the mill called out, "Turn me, turn me. Hasn't it been 7 years since I've been turned?" Now you may know that a mill has blades that are pushed by the wind. And one of the blades went down nearly to the ground. There was a rock in the ground that kept it from turning. Maureen looked at the rock and said, "I'm too tired for that." And she went into the mill, laid down, used the long leather bag for a pillow and went to sleep. Well, when the old woman got home, she saw that Maureen was gone. She looked up the chimney and she saw that the bag was gone. So out on the road she went, and she went running down the road, and she came to the horse and she said, "Horse, horse of mine, where's that maid of mine with a wig and a wag and a long leather bag and all my shining silver?" "She went by just a little while ago," said the horse. So when she came down the road, she came to the sheep and said, "Sheep, sheep of mine, where's that maid of mine with a wig and a wag and a long leather bag and all my shining silver?" "She went back down the road just a while ago." Finally she came to the mill and said, "Mill, mill of mine, where's that maid of mine with a wig and a wag and a long leather bag and all my shining silver?" "She's inside fast asleep." Well, the old woman went inside and she found Maureen fast asleep. She struck her with her walking stick. That turned the lass into a stone. Well, the old woman took the leather bag and went on home. After a year and a day had passed, the second daughter, Kate, thought it was time for her that she would go off and try to make a fortune. Mother, Maureen must be doing well. Maybe it's time that I could try my fortune. And then you'd have one less mouth to feed. So her mother made her a bannock cake and asked Kate if she wanted the whole bannock cake without her blessing or half the bannock cake with the blessing. Ah, mother, be glad for the half the bannock cake with your blessing. So off Kate went looking for work. Whenever she came to a farmhouse, she'd knock on the door asking for work. Always she got the same answer. Alas, we have more workers here than we have food to feed them. You'll need to go someplace else. Finally, she came to a small hut that was old and neglected. She knocked on the door, and an old woman answered. Looking for work, said Kate. There's work for you here. You'll wash the clothes, you'll make the meals and sweep the hearth. But don't you ever look up the chimney or you'll have bad luck. Well, the next morning, Kate made the breakfast, cleaned up the dishes afterwards, swept the hearth. While the old woman was off and about, she made the soup for lunch. But she thought, it wouldn't hurt just to look up the chimney. Well, she looked up the chimney, and there was her mother's long leather bag filled with the silver coins. She took down the bag and she left the hut and started running down the road. And she came to the horse, and the horse said, robbed me. Hasn't it been 7 years since I've been robbed? Oh, you poor horse, said Kate. She got some grass and she rubbed the horse and rubbed the horse and rubbed the horse and rubbed the horse. And then she running down the road, she came to a sheep, and the sheep said, shear me. Hasn't it been 7 years since I've been sheared? Oh, you poor sheep, said Kate. She found some shears on the fence. She cut the wool and she cut the wool and she cut the wool. And then she started running down the road. Finally, she came to the mill, and the mill cut out, turn me. Hasn't it been 7 years since I've been turned? Well, Kate saw the rock that was keeping the mill from turning, and she pushed. Finally, she pushed it away, and the mill began to turn. Well, she was late and she was exhausted. She went inside. She laid down, used the long leather bag for a pillow, and she soon fell asleep. Well, the old woman got home. She saw that Kate was gone. She looked up the chimney and she saw that the long leather bag was gone. And she started running down the road, and she came to the horse and said, horse of mine, where's that maid of mine? And the horse said, and is it for me to be watching your